Hello, my friends. I want to talk about a sensitive topic today, but it's one that's not covered pretty much anywhere, which is how to rewire, how to include sex in rewiring or how they relate and how to work with that when it comes to just the brain and how all of that works. So, the first thing, and if this is a triggering topic, please come back when it's not. So, having a baseline of calm is a good place to start before you jump into sexual activity because on a biological level, it's not really important until you get to that point. And I'm going to define baseline of calm in one of my favorite ways, which is that you can eat, move, and sleep as you please. You're pretty comfortable in those parts of your life. You can move about, you've got your basics covered in life. At that point, it would biologically make sense to add sex into the picture. And I also just want to emphasize that regardless of gender, not having a sex drive at all when you're limbic makes a lot of sense because when you're in survival mode, that is reproduction is not a priority. So that's just really normal. And that usually comes back once you start rewiring. And that's something too that I probably will talk about more another time. Sometimes when that comes back, it's like being a teenager on steroids and it's a really kind of crazy experience that needs to be rewired around. That can happen. So if that's happening to you, you're not alone. There's plenty of people that happens to, and it feels weird, but it's normal. So just know that. When it actually comes to, especially if you're in a relationship, this can be if you're married or in a really committed, established relationship, this can be kind of a point that needs discussing. Like people need to know what's up, what's going on, when it's going to be back on the table, that sort of thing. So when it does come time, when you get to that place where you're ready, and I do really encourage you to take the time because it's one of those things where this can put you out of your training zone if you take it too quickly in a pretty big way. There's a decent amount, there's quite a bit of adrenaline innately tied up in sexual activity. And a lot of times, if we don't have that baseline of calm, it is a lot for the limbic system. So take it slow. Don't go all the way at once. Please pace yourself carefully and take time to elevate and regulate, do a round, self-soothe afterwards. Really be conscientious about this the way you would train on food or anything else like that. Depending on your situation and how your system's responding or possibly previous traumas you have, it can be helpful to train on orgasm by yourself. Having another person involved in that can really make that just a more complex situation that is safe for your limbic system. You want to create the most controlled environment you can so that you're clearing the physical parts of this separately from the relational parts, since there's obviously a lot of pieces to the situation. And that's the last thing I will say is that the level of trust and safety in a relationship is going to play a pretty big role as to like how well your limbic system takes this. That can, depending on you. And again, if you have a history of trauma in this area, that can also play into how this goes. And I just wanted, again, to put this out because I've never heard anyone really talk about it, just in terms of rule of thumb, so that you have some idea of what to do with this part of your life as you're in recovery. So there's your basics. I hope that helps clear things up for those of you who need that. Love you guys.